Good morning, Pioneers. Welcome to The Grit. My name is Connor Morrison.
And my name is Will Martin. Let's get started with a recap on this week's sports.
Over the weekend, boys football traveled to Upper Arlington for the Pink Out game. The Pioneer defense shut out the Bears in the first half. Unfortunately, the boys couldn't pull out the win with a 10-0 loss. Boys soccer lost to Upper Arlington on Saturday in their penultimate game with a score of 0-1. On Monday, field hockey won against Dublin Scioto 7-0.
On Tuesday, girls soccer lost to Olentangy Liberty 2-4. Marin Zavislak scored both goals for the girls. Boys soccer tied their last game against Olentangy Liberty 1-1, with Carson Cutler scoring the lone Pioneer goal.
The boys finished their season with a record of 7-4. Girls volleyball traveled to Hilliard Bradley and defeated the Jaguars 3-0. On Wednesday, field hockey traveled to Tangy for their last regular season game and came home with a 1-0 victory thanks to Grace Lambert with the game-winning goal. The girls now look to the upcoming district tournament. In other sports news, Avery Reed qualified for the state tournament for girls tennis, along with Skylar Dean, who qualified for states in golf, shooting an impressive score of 72.
Girls soccer played their last regular season game at home against Hilliard Derby. The girls were able to win on senior night. The girls finished their season with an impressive 13-3-1 record. Girls volleyball also won their last regular season game against Liberty. The girls finished with a record of 19-3 and were the first in their conference. Speaking of volleyball, let's throw it over to Andrew and volleyball star Maddie Cagino for our weekly interview.
Thanks, guys, and thank you, Maddie, for joining us. How do you feel about the teams you are facing in the upcoming tournaments?
Feel pretty confident because in conference we swept everyone and we're pretty good, and we'll have yeah, that's it.
What's your favorite memory from the season?
Sweeping Liberty twice.
Okay. Is there any meaning to the number on the jersey you wear?
No, it was kind of random.
Okay. What are your future plans? Do you intend to keep playing?
Yeah, I intend to play volleyball at the University of Gonzaga.
All right. Well, thank you, Maddie. Now back to the desk.
Let's get started with our weekly pick'ems for this week. We're going to start with the NFL, starting off with Browns 49ers.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Hopefully the Browns don't get swept, but I'm a big Browns fan, so we'll see. We'll see if we can hold them off.
Yeah, I'm also a Browns fan. I'm pretty nervous for this week's game. Our QB, Deshaun Watson's out. P.J. Walker, who was an XFL QB, is our starting quarterback against debatably the best defense in the NFL, so we'll see how that turns out. I think that our defense will probably hold up well against Brock Purdy and their offense, but our offense just might get shut down. I think that might be what causes us to possibly lose that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Next game is Texans-Saints. There's a lot of OSU players on both of these teams. Obviously, the Texans, C.J. Stroud, who's been one of the best rookies so far in the NFL. He hasn't thrown an interception yet. He's thrown a handful of touchdowns. He's thrown a whole lot of yards. There was some stat about he was one of the only 5 players to throw a certain amount of yards without interceptions in the rookie season. And then on the Saints, Chris Olave, obviously C.J. Stroud and Chris Olave were teammates for a year. There is Marshawn Lattimore, who's a cornerback, plenty of other players. I think that it'll probably be a good game. The Texans are a team, in my opinion, that are underrated, and I think that they have a chance against the Saints. The Saints have looked pretty good. They've got a really good defense this year, but I think I'm probably going to take the Saints in this one. They've got a better, more experienced QB and a better defense.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Texans. I mean, I trust C.J. Stroud a lot, so I think he's going to get it done.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud's definitely looked good. And then last game, the Lions-Buccaneers. These are two that playoff caliber teams at this point in time. We'll see how that holds up. The Lions have been one of the best teams in the NFL. They're probably up in my top 5 teams. Buccaneers with former Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. He's looked pretty good this season. He's had a couple of good games, a couple of okay games. I think that the Lions are one of the most complete teams in the NFL right now, so I'm going to take them in that game.
Yeah, I definitely think the Lions will beat the Buccaneers. I think Baker's been struggling. I mean, he's been doing pretty good, but a couple bad interceptions from him. But yeah, we'll see if the Lions can get the dub.
Yeah. So moving on to college football, we've got now third-ranked OSU. We moved up one spot from last week after our win against Maryland against Purdue. Now, Purdue has not looked very good this season at all. But I think that people always underestimate Purdue. Obviously, a couple years ago, we were upset by Purdue when we should not have lost that game. And I think that OSU should be able to show up and win today, or not today, but tomorrow. So I'm going to take OSU in that matchup.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take OSU. I think Purdue is not going to be ready for us. So.
And then the best game this week in college football, 7th-ranked Washington versus 8th-ranked Oregon. I think this will be a really good game. I think I'm probably going to have to take the upset, though. I'm going to take the Ducks in this one. I think that Oregon's a really good team. They've got a great quarterback.
Please pardon the interruption. In case these students have not been excused yet,
they've got a really good
please
quarterback
General Band,
and a really good run game.
cheer,
So I think
student
that
section leaders. Thank
Washington
you.
hasn't played anyone that's been extremely good so far, so this will be a real test for them.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oregon too. I mean, I think Oregon's just been looking great all year. So I don't know. I'm just thinking Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a good game for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on to high school, our first high school game that we've got is Olentangy versus Dublin Jerome. I think I'm going to have to go with Olentangy for this game. They're now 7-1 on the season. Dublin Jerome is only 2-6. So I think that this should be a relatively easy win for Olentangy. What's your thoughts on that?
Definitely. I think Olentangy will beat Jerome. Olentangy's been looking great all year, so yeah, we'll see.
Next game is Berlin versus Marysville. Another team that's just kind of okay. They're 4-4 like the Pioneers. I think that this game will probably be closer than the Olentangy versus Jerome game. I think that it might be a scare for some Berlin Bear fans. It might get close at one point, but I think that Berlin's probably going to be able to handle Marysville this time.
Yeah, I think Brewster's definitely going to do some crazy stuff tonight, so we'll see if he can beat Marysville, yeah.
So my upset for high school, I'm going to take Liberty versus Hilliard-Davidson. Liberty's only 2-6 on the season. Hilliard-Davidson's also 4-4. But I think that eventually one of these upsets that I've been saying for the past couple weeks is bound to happen. I think this could be a possible week against Davidson for Liberty to make some noise and pull out an upset.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Liberty too, so we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. And then finally, Olentangy versus Hilliard-Bradley. Obviously, it's our homecoming game. We're not going to lose our homecoming game. Doesn't matter if Hilliard-Bradley's undefeated. They're going to have one loss after tonight.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with Orange.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping Levi Davis is going to do great, so yeah.
Absolutely. He's been able to run over defense, all-around defenses the whole season. So if we keep that up tonight, I think we got a pretty good chance at winning.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all we got for our picks. Now, the football team will be having their last home game tonight against Hilliard-Bradley. Last week, Hilliard-Bradley defeated Olentangy 20-13. The Jaguars are 8-0 on the year, and the theme for tonight's game is Hawaiian. Make sure to be there and be loud.
That's all we have today, Pioneers. I'm Will Martin. As always, be sure to support your Nears in action this week.
And I'm Connor Morrison. Thanks for tuning in to The Grit and Roll Nears.